Welcome everybody to the Tristan and Sabrina Show.
Probably
Today,
one of the best shows ever.
The art of being here, right now. That doesn't change anything, my dear. You need that ultimate control button. There it is.
Woohoo.
Hi friends. We have had a day. How about you? We've been on an adventure, and some of you know about the adventure, and we want to talk about the adventure, but we really want to dive into this conversation about be here now. Now, do you guys remember this particular image? Let's see who can identify. It's on a t-shirt, but when you first saw maybe this image, I'll bring it in a little closer. I'm going to get too blurry. Okay, can you see that? It says on it, be here now, be here now, be here now, be here now.
Be here now.
But it was on a book. Anybody remember? What was the color of the book? That's the question of the hour. That image, those words.
Whoever guesses first gets an 89 Toyota Corolla.
Hello, Toyota Corolla.
Because we have one sitting out there.
And it's up for grabs. So
Actually we started we call them cycles, in our Life Force Mastery Dojo. And our Life Force Mastery Dojo is where it's the most beautiful collection of students come together with
sweet
us.
souls. Many of you are here right now.
And we train together a few times a week and inspire each other and draw wisdom from each other. And when you don't have the energy, you sort of get it from the group.
Yeah.
It's such a magical place to be, and it has attracted very conscious,
high
vibe people. It is the most incredible group of people.
It really is.
And you can see how, what do they say, all boats rise with the tide. As one person has an insight, you can see somehow energetically it affects the whole. And today we launched a new cycle, and the title of it was Be Here Now. And that's been on our mind all day today, because that was the class this morning. And that's sort of going to be what we talked to you about tonight, because that's what was on our mind as we went through the day today, which was more like be here, be here, be here, be there, be there, be where, be there.
All
be
over
there.
town.
It didn't feel like there was any nows to be found.
All over this land, we hammered out a warning. We said danger.
We set off house alarms and called the police.
We
all over this land.
So, yes, the conversation around this cycle of Be Here Now. And did anybody guess the color? I'm looking.
You picked
dark
a color?
blue. You know what? I'm going to go with dark blue, but personally, it could have been a dark purple blue. How about that? I saw that book. It was written by Ram Dass years ago, and Sabrina and I both had a copy of it. It's more like a square, and when you'd open the pages, they were on like a brown kind of, what's that paper called? That brown...
Muslin?
Is it muslin?
Parchment.
Like a parchment paper, yeah. And it was about his experiences in India, learning about satsang and meditation and having a teacher and all these really interesting things to us like 30-something years ago. And we fell in love with the art of Be Here Now.
Always say that's something when you give the decade.
Yeah, 30-something, is that what I said?
30-something, 50-something.
A few decades ago. But really working the craft, if you will, of be here now, be here now. And so, yes, today had a lot of dance with it. But we shared this as the theme for our cycle with our students in the Life Force Mastery Dojo, because it's really a beautiful way to live. Not in the past, not in the future, but truly in the now. And honestly, there's been a lot of things that have been coming up for me and for you in preparations for a transition in our life, moving into a new home.
I want to give an example.
I'd love for you to give an example.
Like a movement example, because we're all about through the body, right? Mind, body aligned, but through the body. Be here now, as you're walking, could feel like I'm on my right foot, I'm on my left foot, I'm on my right foot, I'm on my left foot. But that's just such a small piece of the equation, right? Being here now isn't just being on your right foot and your left foot, but it's being 100% on your right foot and then 75% on your right foot and 25% on your left. And what about that be here now when you're 50-50? And then when you're 75% on the next foot, and then when you actually release the weight and you're totally balanced on the left. There's so many nows in between the markers that so many of us say, oh, I'm here now, I'm in meditation. And then my kid does something and I freak out and act like a maniac. That's not a now, but I'll be back. So we were looking at all the nows, the string of pearls of now, the now necklace.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of when you practice a moving meditation and your life becomes a moving meditation, then all those nows are in harmony or concert. And you really can feel when you're out of now. Well, let's talk about being here now. What is that like? Because there are degrees of nowness, right? How present, how open is your consciousness bandwidth?
And why should you care?
Why should you care? Why get here now? Well, let me share with you that I have felt really off in my life when I'm all over the land and I'm splitting my focus in a gazillion directions. I can't be present to anyone or anything. I can't be my real, true self. I can be my past self, who's in a reactionary state with everything. I could be in my wanting to get away from my past and get into my future self, but I'm still not here now because I'm dreaming of the future, which doesn't even exist, right? And then the art of truly landing in this moment is where the great reveal takes place, because you truly get to meet yourself. It can feel a little uncomfortable being birthed back into the now, because you got to let go of stuff. Old identity.
You might have to feel happy.
You might have to get happy. You might have to sing and dance and laugh. And honestly, I remember when I wanted to be in the joy of here now, and there was a resistance inside of me to drop my old self. And I even remember we were all dancing when I first met you, and we were all like playing music and dancing, and I had such resistance to do it. Because what will people think? What will I look like?
That's
My self-conscious mind. Right? Trying to be the stoic sensei guy. And yet inside me, the now, the real essence of now was so like, come on, dude, let's be here now. And I finally gave myself permission to jump in, and it felt so beautiful. That's what we mean by be here now. You're being in your true essence.
Ask me what I think.
What do you think?
Well, it's funny you should ask.
What does be here now mean to you, Sabrina?
Well, now to me is totally present and aligned with this vast love that I experience as my faith and my connection to source, my love for God, my knowingness that only good comes to me, that I am always so blessed, no matter what the evidence shows, no matter what the circumstances shows. That's being in the now. And I leave the now when I hear something that sounds bad, disappointing, not what I wanted, and I change my feeling to sad, concerned, angry, and in that moment I actually left the now because I chose information over faith. I'm going to use the word faith because I love that word. Some people don't, but for me, faith just means
trust.
Holding the hands of that which I love and trusting that I'm always taken care of. And when I can stay in that, regardless of information coming, regardless of circumstances coming, everything always works out for me. and it's knowing that. It's knowing that in the face of things that don't feel good, things that do make you sad. Now, is it okay to be sad? Yes. Sure. Feel sad, and then walk your way back to love and joy and appreciation and gratitude. It's always about returning to the now. But what's funny is now isn't a stagnant spot. So you could think now is right here, and returning to the now is I'm going to go sit back in that chair. Guess what? They moved the chair. When you leave the now keeps being in the now, so you can't go back to it because it's not there anymore.
You've got a river. You've got to flow with now, every new now.
But it's so easy to get back to the now through, to me, stopping everything else. And that's what's so beautiful about a practice of meditation, especially Qigong, because it's through the body. A lot of people will do it. We were playing music today as we were driving around, and Tristan said, I probably one of the reasons people love music so much is it's such a fast way to change your vibration. You're listening to a song, you start singing, you remember a happy time, you can immediately feel that joy. And the now feels extremely joyous. It feels happy, it feels hopeful, it feels wide open, it feels full of potential because it's creation, it's the creative process, it's where all ideas are birthed from.
There's no fear in now because now represents a state of consciousness. Let's hang out on that for a moment. Now, really being, right? Being, essence, here, now, represents that you're in a state of high consciousness. You're fully alert, fully awake, bandwidth open, mind present, non-reactive. You're not in the reactive mind. You're in consciousness. See, there's a big difference. Can you be in consciousness and use your mind?
You sounded a little bit like Chris Rock.
Hey. But really, if you could be conscious, if you could be now and use thought, that's ninja. Because some may say mindfulness, right? Fully present here now, fully alert, fully awake, mindful. That doesn't make you like a zombie and you can't use your brain.
Not at all.
And it doesn't necessarily make you quiet.
It's the opposite sometimes.
It gives you access to all your faculties from a very present perspective. So now you're making the most conscious decisions and taking the most conscious actions and responding rather than reacting. And I know some of this sounds oh so cliche, and yet how often do we leave the now? All the time. How aware have you been of your now today? I'm asking myself. And so we've been using the mantra, be here now. That's why we introduced it to the community and we were like, let's do it on the Tristan show tonight because y'all are an extension of the family. Some of you are in the dojo, some of you aren't. Let's all be here now more together.
But we decided on this theme before we ventured out into a day.
Well, let's tell you about the day. So today, for those of you who
magnificent.
It was magnificent. Those of you who've been following the Tristan show know a thing or two.
Kim Walsh-Phillips.
Kim, hi. Well, we're going to show the reveal of what manifest today. Can you hear it? What's that, Sabrina?
Well, that's the key to your new home.
That's the key to your new house right there.
That's the key that represents you owe a big mortgage.
Yay! So we have been putting it out for a while that we're ready for an expansion. And we're so ready to embrace Sabrina's parents into our lives to live and be together and care for each other in a new environment and expand our space for teaching and classes and you guys and everything has been about more love. How can we invite more love, more expansion? How can we have, when the time is right, people can come over and mastermind with us and do stuff like they do at Kim's house, which is really cool. So now we can do what you do, Kim.
See what you did, Kim?
Kim, you were a big part of triggering or activating in us greater desire. Mm-hmm. And so I want to say thank you to all of the people in my life who inspire me to grow, to be bigger. Yeah. And it manifests. Now, I will also have to give big kudos to this lady right here.
Yes.
Because she worked the freaking craft. You can visualize and you can manifest, but if you don't take massive action, it ain't gonna happen. She had to do all these dances to make this beautiful dream home our home. Why don't you talk about that? Because you busted your chops.
Well, a lot of the dancing happened before.
Thank you, guys.
I'm sure you've experienced the same thing. Like we knew that our greatest desire right now was to be able to bring my parents and to live together. They call it multiple generation living, and my brother, and we work from home, and Larry, my brother, works with us. So how can we find a house where everyone can still live together and yet still love each other, right? And have enough space and yet be able to work. And it seemed impossible. And we actually felt like we were looking for a long time. And then there was a night, it was a Wednesday night before a Trisbrina show. And for like 3 days, I was having a lot of emotions and frustrations, feeling like there was no way I could make everybody happy. There are no homes in Austin. They say for every house that becomes available for sale, there's 15 contracts, and there just isn't enough housing for the people here.
Keeping the faith.
And we had such specifics. And then I had this beautiful dream that I shared. And this dream was not a dream, it was a gift. And it has changed my life every single night since then. Every single night I wake up and remember this dream. And the dream was I'm walking down a street carrying this tiny little box. A pretty box with like almost a pretty box, like a pretty red box. And I was walking down the street and I asked myself, what are you carrying? And it says, that's my box of worries. And where are you putting it? And then I went through this gate and it looked like a plantation in Georgia. And I went up and it was the house of love. It was the house of God. And it was the doorstep of God. And I was guided to put my box of worries on the doorstep of love and to remember my trust more fully and to just always with the worries to put them on the doorstep and to know that I am completely loved and taken care of. And the next day, a house that would accommodate my parents having a space that gave them privacy if they wanted it, and a space that we could still be upstairs, and just all the little things that we needed became available. We put the offer in, we got the house, and it was just so many synchronicities that I'm not even talking about. But the dance of action was to stop anything that wasn't in the now and taking action on what's in the now. Do this now, and especially lately, because with what happened today, there were so many paperwork, so much tax information needed and credit report needed, and sign this and sign that and do this and do that and learn how to do this. And it's just been a lot. It feels like a full-time job. And at the same time, we need to sell my mom and dad's house, and we need to get our house up for sale because that's how we're funding the new thing. So it's just been a juggle and a dance that I've almost been beautifully forced into dancing in the now, or I go crazy.
Do you get that? Because that's the power of now. Hey, there's a book about that. The power of being in the now means you don't freak. Because there's a lot of things that could get us to all freak.
Twerk, but don't freak.
You can twerk. But there's these safety gates that we don't allow ourselves to go past because, I might freak. But with the power of living in the now, you actually can break free from old identities and old boxes that you're ready to expand beyond. So if you can really master this art of dropping that reaction, dropping that past, future, outside yourself energy, and really stay here, you can make changes that you otherwise couldn't make. Mm-hmm. Because if she didn't have that and I wasn't using that, we would have to remain in the same thing.
And I would say if there was any efforting, and everybody buys a house or that goes through different things at different times. We're not saying, we did this big thing. Nobody does. It's the experience of going through it and trying to consciously find the joyful place, find the happy place, find the excitement rather than the frustration, no matter what information you're getting. So today, after all of this paperwork and, blah, 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 we go to sign papers, and we sign, and we sign, and sign.
My wrist is a little sore.
Because we got a first and a second mortgage to juggle some of the finances. And then they go, okay, it'll be funded, just like go to Lowe's, look for your washer and dryer for the house, and you'll get the keys. And so we go back, and they're like, oh no, we need more signed forms from the IRS. I was like, what? And just kind of staying light with it and being playful. So then we went to Home Goods.
And we found some good stuff
We
at
found
Home
some-
Goods.
Oh, we did. Actually,
A beautiful table.
that's a
We'll
whole
show you
thing.
guys the table.
We recently bought a coffee table from someone in town that's very unique and kind of mirrored and brass. And we walk into Home Goods because we had to, and it's like somebody
We had to go in
We had
there.
to- we had
We
to.
were forced.
had a end table that matched it, just weird. Anyway, and everything was like yes, no, yes, no. You couldn't get the keys. We finally went back the third time to the title company, and they gave us the keys, but we didn't have the alarm system. We didn't have the alarm code. Finally got the alarm code. Nobody. I'm texting like the ex-owner of the house, their real estate agent, our real estate agent.
It was a long day.
Yeah.
We had to keep coming back into the now,
Into
even
the
when
now.
I set off the alarm and the whole house went. It kept unfolding, and it was magical.
Because they said press the X, but they didn't say which X.
There were 2 X's. Anyway, oh, by the way, Kim says you need to get a second house in Georgia now. And she also wants to know what was the favorite song in the car. Was it the Uptown Funk, or what song were you talking about when we were in the car? Kim asked, because you said earlier we were talking about our favorite song.
Oh, Tristan was playing, I think it was Blake
Shelton?
Shelton, and he just said, and he was getting happy because him and Blake are like this, and he was saying, I can see why people like music
Yeah, so it
because
wasn't
we
a
could
favorite.
feel the vibe lifting.
But if there was a favorite, I think Uptown Funk would be one of my favorite to change the mood.
I do,
And that JT one
because
you like.
the peanut butter line,
Peanut butter.
The-
Put some Skippy on it.
smoother than a fresh jaw Skippy.
And the other one we like is Justin Timberlake. How's it go?
I got this feeling.
Inside my bones, I go electric. Anyway, so that's the house story. So for those of you who were...
So we got the alarm turned off. We found the other X. Just so we
so
don't
you
leave
know.
you hanging. We're not in jail.
So my little mini story lesson for what I'm implementing in the Be Here Now, why I love this theme right now for all of us, is I've been purging and cleaning out things from the office upstairs, boxes that have been in the garage that have not been looked in. Anybody else have that situation where you've just been storing stuff? And we don't want to bring the old into the new, right? We want the fresh start and the clean slate experience. So I'm going through these boxes, and I said to Sabrina yesterday, I realized why sometimes people don't want to look in the boxes because it activates certain thoughts and feelings about your past. Now, sometimes it's memorabilia and it activates really lovely feelings. But
Like Tristan saw my scrapbook.
I found pictures of Sabrina when she was taking her high school yearbook photos, and I put them on Facebook, and people seem to really enjoy that. And that was really sweet. But I've been going through all this stuff that I've been saving because what if I need this lesson? I don't know how many marketers are out there, but I've been to so many masterminds and events in my life, and books and books and books of notes and notes and notes. And I'm like, I've had these attachments
Me
because
too.
the secrets are in there. I can't lose these. And so I'm trying to keep some. And then I'm,
And yet we haven't read them for 10 years.
Right?
Look at one thing we found.
oh, this is cute. Wait, if you can't go forward like that, it's blurry.
Oh.
There. That's Sabrina.
Every picture on that page is me.
Pretty good. What was that from?
That was the Miss Virginia pageant.
Back to me. So I have been experiencing these emotions and memories, the future, ideas I had of where my life would be, versions of me that I'm no longer. I don't know if you have this. I'm pretty judgmental on myself. I can look back and go, gosh, I can't believe that's who I was, or that I was into that, and then some of them I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of the journey and the martial artist and all of that. But anyway, it's been activating all this not here now. It's been taking me to the past and pulling and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so important for me to be here right now and remain in the vibration and the joy that I know myself as today. And so purging has been really cleansing, and it's brought stuff up, but it's also shown me how much I've changed and grown. And so I'm loving it, but I also can understand why maybe people hold on to a lot of stuff because of either fear of change or just they don't want to look at it.
I had this analogy I talked to Tristan about earlier this week. Is I grew up in a home in the same house from 0 to when I moved to New York at 19, and so I have a lot of memories of my bedroom, the size of the bedroom, of the relationship of the windows to the floor, and especially the bathroom, where the sink was, the toilet, and then I went back to visit the home years later, and I was like, what a tiny little sink. This wasn't like my memory at all. And the memories of my bedroom were the memories of like a little child, and the room seemed so big, and the windows seemed high, and the sink seemed way high and big, and the toilet seemed extra tall. And then I go back as an adult, and it's like this little sink didn't even have a cabinet under it, and this little toilet, and everything was so small. I felt like I was walking around a dollhouse, because I was seeing it as a larger person, but also as a different person who had had more life experience living in different places all over the country. And I've always remembered that every time I recall something from the past, and I'll say, I remember when I was 18 and I did this and you said this, those aren't the me here now memories. I'm pulling from an old file of a video that 18-year-old version of me took and put a spin on it. Right? It had artistic license before it put the memory in my head. So when I quote the thing that I saw at 18 or 19, or what about the stuff I quote when I was 6? I'm like, Mom, you slapped me and knocked my tooth out. She's like, that never happened. Yes, it did. I remember. So who's right? Right? Probably not me. Because
I see all your teeth.
Yeah, I see all my teeth too. So that's such a beautiful thing when you look back at your memorabilia. It is you, but remember, the now is moving. The now is always moving. So it's the you of the now that was then, and the memories.
That's very Zen.
What?
The now of the you that was then.
The you of the now that was then.
Or however you said it.
Right. So even people who have had relationships, me, you, romantic relationships that have ended. And then you're telling the story of what it was like to be with that person, and how they were a jerk, or they were selfish, they were angry, they had a drinking problem, or whatever we're telling. Those are not really your now memories. They're the memories of who you were when you were in the relationship with them. If you were in a relationship with them now, bless you, it would be very different, because you are a different person. And so always remembering that, as I haven't gone through as much of my things as Tristan has, because I've been working on the
paperwork,
the other mortgage that we now owe, and
don't say it like that. Let's shift that, because I know you're being cute.
I'm just being funny.
We both like paying our bills.
Yeah.
It feels so good to make money and share it and give it and earn it and spend it. Mm-hmm. It's an awesome thing.
But I have all these books on ballroom and Latin dancing that are like a master's program or a PhD program that I collected. And I'm like, do I want to pass these on and release them? Because at first we were saying get rid of. And I didn't like that. That sounded horrible. So do I want to release it? Do I want to share it? Do I want to pass it on to others? And just thinking, the me now, do I think I ever want to actually teach ballroom dancing in that same way? I don't want to teach it in that same way. I might do something, but not in that same way. And so sharing all that knowledge, those encyclopedias of that I had studied, it feels a little weird to let it go, because it almost feels like if you let the stuff go, you let the identity go. And I'm really proud.
That's it.
Of what I did and I accomplished. So by letting go of it, am I no longer it? So that's been a really interesting thing.
I'm with you on that. And I realized after looking at all those marketing books and things, I have studied, that's inside me now. There are still some things that I like to look at. Like, I don't know if Kim's still here, but I found a paper that I wrote from the day that I first met Kim. And
at Lisa Sasovich's
Sasovich's mastermind. And I had written down what Kim had shared with the group. And I hadn't written Kim's name on this piece of paper, and I was going through this. It's called a funnel, for those of you who know what that is. It was this funnel, and I was looking. I was like, "That's really good. I wonder whose funnel that was. That's really clever." And then it had the percentages on each one, like what the conversion from that page to that page. And it was like, wow, there's a 20% sales conversion here. And I'm like, wow. And then if they dropped off there, it took them back over there. It was like, this is really good. And then what I found underneath that piece of paper was this big white piece of poster paper, all folded up. And I unfolded it, and it was the thing that we stole. At the mastermind, Kim had it drawn on this big white thing, and
this was in
they were gonna. It was
La Jolla, no, Mission Bay.
It was gonna end up after the mastermind going in the trash. It's like, no, we're taking that home. But I had drawn a copy of it. A
giant Post-it board that you draw on it, and you kind of tear off and stick. But they were gonna trash it, and we folded it up.
We took it. That's something I won't throw away because it's like really good stuff. So you just try to identify what you want to keep because, it's useful now. And then all the other stuff, it's inside already. Release it. Yeah. Let it go, and you can learn new things too because you got to create space for the new. So.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful thing that he just said, making space for the new. We have so many things that we have collected over the years. We have been collectors of things. Boxes that I don't even think I've looked through since we moved in this house. And if I move all of that, there really isn't room for freshness and newness. And even though the house we're moving into is square footage, a large house, there's people in the rooms. It's not like a warehouse of storage. So we're actually trying to let go. We're trying to come in fresh, feeling fresh with what inspires us right now.
Yeah. So we hope this inspires you guys to obviously be here in the now. And one of the most amazing ways to do that is to move your body mindfully, maybe a sitting meditation or whatever it is, dancing, just something that throws you in to this moment.
Yeah.
And then practice the art of, like Sabrina said, string of pearls, that your moments become these beautiful pearls of nowness, and that you live in the present, because that's when you're your greatest. That's when you're your most loving. That's when you have the most clarity, because you don't have the cluttering, split, focused thought. You're laser, and that requires just being willing to show up right now. Don't allow all those distractions to constantly be pulling you. There's so many distractions in our lives today, and we do need some discipline to be here now. Mm-hmm. But it's a beautiful discipline, and it helps you, not only help you, but you can serve so many more people when, like, just the art of being present to a friend and actually listening to them. That you're actually listening. That requires being here now, not always thinking about what you're going to say next. It benefits everyone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So. And what you just brought up, you can hear, what we're saying or what I'm saying about faith. It isn't a one-time decision. It's every time you roll over at night with a worry, in that moment you say, oh, wait a minute, I surrender this over to love. I give this on the doorstep of God. And 10 minutes later, you roll over worried about something else. It's a continual process. It is an unfolding and a constant choosing.
Art.
And it really is. It's the art of life. Because when I start feeling anxiety and worry and smallness and fear, because there's so many things to be afraid of, right? And there's so many things to look forward to, and it's always a choice. And some of us more than others have the habit of looking at, I think, the fear side, the anxiety side. That tends to scream loud in my head, which has been such a blessing and a gift in this life from childhood, feeling this anxiety in my stomach. I can't even, if you have it, you know what I'm talking about. It's just this kind of angst and anxiety that has been such a great invitation for me to make it a practice to let it go and to be loved. Let it go, let it go, let it go. So it's kind of funny, the thing that seems like not a gift has ended up being one of the biggest gifts I can have, because it is always an invitation to remember love, to choose love, to know that everything is going to work out for me, that I am so blessed. And regardless of the situations, like we didn't even mention that while we were trying to close on our house and all that was happening, my mom had an offer on her house that we were trying to help her negotiate. Her and my dad, who are in their 80s, and there was a lot of trickery with that too, is just no matter what you hear, oh, this doesn't seem like a blessing. I can't wait to see how it is. Boy, this doesn't seem like good news. I can't wait to roll on the floor to see why this is happening for my ultimate good.
She's mastering the head trash and coming back constantly to love, to faith, to trust, to what's the opportunity here. Mm-hmm. Isn't that beautiful? And when you are present, you have so much more capacity that you can manage 2 mortgages and help your mom and move your house and run your business. You know, you meet those people and you go, they're like superhumans. How do they do so much? It's that they're actually not doing so much. They're actually just really present to what they're doing, that they can do a lot more than most.
I would say my main thing that I'm trying to do every day is emptiness, so that my thoughts are aligned thoughts. My thoughts are that of love, that what I'm inspired to do is the right thing. Intuition is amazing right now because I keep letting go. It's like
it saves so much time.
There's this ride that I've never been on at fairs and amusement parks. I'm not big on those rides. And it's a circle, and I see it's a big circle, and everybody stands on the circumference, and you get strapped in, and it spins around and round, and the bottom falls out.
Actually, you don't need to be strapped because you're spinning so fast you're stuck to the wall.
Maybe insurance, they strap you. But I have actually that feeling of sometimes when I can't stop the thoughts at night, I do that in my own head. And I throw the thoughts to the outside like those people are when they're strapped into that ride. And then it just leaves this beautiful hollowness for love. And I actually say, okay, we're going to spin those thoughts to the outside. Spin. And
there it is.
It really helps. It allows space to hear the truth.
Okay. Well, thank you for being part of our lives. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for being here now. And if you'd like to join us in this cycle, whether you're in the Life Force Mastery Dojo or not.
Where are you at in your cycle right now?
Stop it. We started today, October 1st, and we go for 30 days, practicing every day. Set yourself up in the morning and establish a connection to, whatever your name is. Tristan, be here right now. Betty, be here right now. Sarah, be here right now. And remind yourself throughout the day to get into the now.
Yeah.
And let us know what happens for you, because we're going to do another Tris Sabrina show. Let's check in.
In line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
As you're swiping your credit card to pay for something, as you're looking into the eyes of people, as you're pushing your shopping cart to the car, as you're scrolling through Facebook, be here now, be here now, be here now. Because you can be here now doing anything. It's just who you are as you're here now that it just makes it so much more colorful and so much more fun.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Gorgeous share. Thanks, partner, for all that you did to help us manifest.
Thanks, fellow homeowner.
Hello there, good buddy. Much love. We'll be reading all the comments again later. We've been liking and loving as much as we can. Thank you for being part of this family. We love you guys. Okay, have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Have a super cool weekend.
Hold the keys up. Get a good screenshot.
Yeehaw.
Thumbnail.
All right, we'll be moving all weekend. Bye.